Pacific, from Mexico to Maine, from Pennsylvania to Nevada, from the mountains to the plain, from Massachusetts down to Texas, in every single state. Get into your car and meet the people that make America great.
Mercy me, never seen such traffic.
Where did they all come from, Grandpa?
Oh, someplace.
Where are they all going?
Someplace else. That's what automobiles are for.
Automobiles?
Automobiles. Cars.
Oh.
Used to call them horseless carriages when I was a boy.
When was that, Grandpa?
Back around the beginning of the century. Yes, sir. That's when Henry Ford really got them Model Ts rolling.
Henry Ford? Who was he, Grandpa?
Who was he? Just the father of the automobile industry, that's who. Just a man who figured out how to make cars so people could afford them.
Tell me about him, Grandpa. I'm curious. I want to know.
Curious, eh? Want to know? Well, that's just the way Henry was when he was your age. Wanted to know everything about how things worked. There's a story they tell of when he was a little boy on his father's farm.
Henry Ford!
Yes, Mother?
You come away from that tea kettle. Come away this instant.
But, Mother, I'm just trying to hold the lid down.
Hold the lid down?
Yes, it keeps jumping up. Come look. See, what makes it do that?
Oh, I don't know, Henry. It just does. If I knew, I'd tell you. It has something to do with the water boiling, I think.
Oh. Then what makes the water boil?
Land's sakes, Henry, I don't rightly know. You do ask lots of questions. You certainly are curious.
Curious?
That means you want to know everything. Now run along. It's time for me to fix dinner, and I don't want you scurrying here under my feet.
How do you know it's time?
Because the clock says so. See?
Mother?
Yes, Henry?
What makes it run?
Henry Ford, you have more questions in your head than there's corn in the cornfield. Now you run along.
Well, later that evening, after dinner, the Ford family was all together in the living room. But something felt different.
Father?
Yes, dear?
It seems so quiet in here. Why do you suppose that is?
Well, where's Henry?
Oh, that's it. He's always asking so many questions that when he's not around, I can't get used to the silence. Now, where is he?
Don't know. He was here just a few minutes ago. He was playing with a wind-up toy butterfly we got him.
What was that?
Look, there's a spring rolling out from under the table. Henry, is that you under there?
Yes, Father.
What in the world are you doing?
I was taking the toy butterfly apart.
Taking it apart? Whatever for?
To see what makes it work.
Why is that, Henry?
I was curious. I thought so.
Mother, what are you doing?
Just catching up on spinning some wool for your clothes, Henry.
You've seen a spinning wheel before, haven't you, Henry?
Well, what makes it work?
Oh, Henry, you know. You see, I put my foot on this treadle, and it's connected to this rod. And the rod is connected to the wheel and makes it go round. Now that much I know.
A treadle and a rod connected to the wheel.
Now that's enough curiosity for tonight, Henry Ford. You run along to bed. You have chores to do tomorrow.
Oh.
Remember what they are?
It's shelling the corn.
Don't sound so unhappy about it, Henry. We've got to take the kernels off the corn husks so we can eat them.
But it takes so long. When I turn that husking wheel by hand, well, it just seems to take forever to fill up half a pail.
It's got to be done, Henry. On a farm, we all have our chores, have to share them. The corn husking is yours for tomorrow.
Now you run along to bed. Henry? Henry, do you hear me?
Husking wheel. Spinning wheel. I wonder. Oh, yes, Mother. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Henry.
Good night, son.
What a boy. You know what he's got?
Curiosity.
Well, early the next morning, there were funny sounds coming out of the tool shed.
Henry, is that you in there?
Yes, Father.
Don't take too long, son. Don't forget you have that husking to do.
I won't forget, Father. Now, if I take this old wagon wheel and this rod of wood, and if I use this plank to make a treadle, that's it.
Later that afternoon,
Henry, where are you?
In the tool shed, Father.
Still here, Henry? That's where I left you this morning. What about the corn husking?
All finished, Father.
Finished? Good. Now, that wasn't such a terrible chore, was it?
Nope, not with this.
With what? Henry, what's that contraption you've got?
It's my new corn husker, Father. It takes so long to turn the husking wheel by hand, so I used some of the wood that was lying around and this old wheel, and
Henry, it looks a little like Mother's spinning wheel.
That's where I got the idea. See, I put my foot on the treadle, and the treadle moves the rod, and the rod moves the husking wheel, and we've got corn to eat.
I'll be. Henry, that's great. It looks like your curiosity has been put to good use. Yes, sir, good use.
well, the time came for Henry to go off to school. He was a good student, liked arithmetic a lot, they say, and of course, he still liked to know how things worked. Well, one day at school, it was recess time. The boys were outside playing, and Mr. Ward, the teacher, was inside marking papers. Suddenly, one of the boys saw something, and he ran into the schoolhouse.
Mr. Ward! Mr. Ward!
What is it, Samuel?
It's Henry Ford. He set the fence on fire.
What? Let me see. Boys, let me through there. What's going on? Henry Ford, what in the world are you doing? Boys, get some water. That's it. Now put it on the fence right there. That's it. More. That's it. Good. Fire's out. Now, Henry Ford, come here.
Yes, sir?
Suppose you explain yourself to me, young man.
I was making a puffer, sir. And the fire spread.
A puffer? What's a puffer?
Well, that's what the other boys call it, sir. It's a kind of a steam engine. You see, you put the water in the boiler.
What boiler?
With this one, sir.
That's an oil can.
Yes, sir.
So you used an oil can to boil water. Go on, Henry.
Well, then I made this hole in it so the steam could escape.
Go on.
Then I attached these two arms to the sides of the can, and I connected a shaft, and I put a fan on it.
A fan?
Yeah, so when the steam comes out of the hole, it'll turn the fan. And the fan turns this shaft, and that turns this wheel on the other side.
Henry, that's pretty good. Tell me, have you ever heard of a steam engine?
No, sir.
Did you ever see a picture of one?
No, sir.
Did you ever see one work?
No, sir. What is it?
Henry, it is something invented many years ago. It's a marvelous invention that's used to run railroads and steamships. And you have just invented it all over again.
I did?
Yes, and I must say you're rather remarkable for doing it. But how did the fence catch fire?
I don't know. I was too busy watching the steam to notice.
Didn't the other boys notice?
No, sir. They were busy, too.
Doing what?
Oh, they fetched the water and the wood for me.
They... Oh, Henry Ford, someday...
Yes, sir?
Someday you'll have everybody working for you.
Well, after school and on Saturdays, there was lots to do on the farm. One afternoon...
Father, look down the road. That machine with smoke coming out of it is coming this way on its own wheels. What is it?
Looks like a steam thresher to me, Henry. Mr. Gleason down the road has one for his farm. Yes, that's him driving it.
Mr. Gleason! Mr. Gleason!
Can't hear you, boy.
Can I get on?
What? You want to get on? Sure. Come over. Be quick about it. This ain't no horse. I can't stop so easy.
Here I come.
Let me give you a hand. That's a boy. Up you go.
I'm up. Thanks, Mr. Gleason. What is this?
It's a threshing machine, Henry, to thresh the wheat. It does the job a whole lot faster than I can do it by hand.
How does it work?
It runs on steam, Henry. Just like your puffer I heard about.
I didn't know I was inventing something that someone already made. It's just that I like engines a lot. I want to know all about them.
Okay, then, I'll tell you. Did you ever hear of James Watt?
What?
Well, that's his name. Watt. W-A-T-T.
Oh,
Well, he was an inventor. A Scotsman, he was. He died about 50 years before you were born.
what did he do?
Well, he's the man who sort of captured steam and taught people how to put it to work. You remember that puffer of yours? When you put a fire under the water and the water boiled up, you got steam, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, steam expands. Well, that means it spreads out. Takes more room, you might say. Have you ever seen a steam kettle in your mother's kitchen?
Sure.
Would you ever notice how the lid sort of jumps up and down?
Oh, yes.
It's the steam does that. See, as it expands, it pushes the lid up. Now, if you capture that steam so it doesn't just escape from the kettle...
You can put it to work.
Exactly. And that's what James Watt did. When he saw that the steam lifted the tea kettle lid, that made him think that steam could lift other things, too. So he made a machine where the steam moved a rod called a piston. And the piston was connected to a wheel.
So when the steam moved the piston moved the wheel.
You got it, Henry. And that's how this here threshing machine goes. It's on wheels. And I got a little steam engine in the back here. Now watch. See what happens when I throw more wood in the firebox?
It makes this machine go faster.
That's what it does, Henry. Well, I gotta go now. Down you go. I'll see you around, Henry.
Well, isn't that something? Steam can pull that machine. Well, if it can pull that, why couldn't it pull anything on wheels?
Well, Henry Ford grew older, and after school he got a job in a machine shop. It was a magic world to him, full of pulleys and metal, oil and tools and machines. And later on, when he was finished with school, he worked in the shop full time. He took to it like a duck takes to water. He learned more about machinery and especially about steam engines. After a while, he went to work for a big company that made steam engines. It was called the Westinghouse Air Brake Company. And there he learned even more. Well, by this time, Henry had grown up into a young man. Well, one evening at home on the farm...
Henry,
Yes, Father?
tomorrow's Saturday. You planning to be home?
Yes.
Well, I could use your help on something.
What is it?
You know that new field we cleared? Where we chopped down the trees?
Yes, Father.
We gotta pull out the stumps. We'll use the horses, but I'll need your help with them.
Father, I have an idea.
What's that, son?
We don't need the horses.
Don't need 'em, Henry. It takes a lot of strength to pull those stumps out of the ground. We can't do that without horses.
We'll see, Father. We'll see.
Well, next morning, Henry got up at the crack of dawn and went out. And when his father woke up...
Now, where in the world did Henry go? He said he'd help me with the horses. I've got to get those stumps pulled. Now, what's that? Mother, can you see out the window?
It's Mr. Gleason's threshing machine. Henry's driving it. He's bringing it here.
Father! Come on outside!
Now, Henry, what on earth are you going to do with that steam machine?
Come over to the new field and see.
Well, Mr. Ford drove his team of horses over the new field. But when he got there, Henry had moved the threshing machine close up to one of the stumps.
Henry, get that contraption out of the way. I've got to get the horses in there.
The machine will do it, Father.
That clumsy thing? Come on, let me use the horses. They can do a better job.
Wait, Father. Let me try once. If you don't agree, then I'll stop and you can use the horses.
Okay, son. Now what are you doing? Well, what are those chains for?
I'm fastening one end to the steam engine.
Okay, I see that. What are you doing with the other end?
That goes around the stump.
Now what, son?
Now I get on the engine, start it up, and let it do the work the horses did. Watch, Father.
Well, I'll be darned. The engine's pulling the stump clear out of the ground.
Here it comes.
Well, you did it.
The engine did it, Father. I had a hunch that it could.
That engine did the work of a couple of horses, Henry. And a lot easier, too. There's no telling what that thing can do. Good work.
Well, you know, Father, it seems to me that maybe there's an engine that's not so big and slow, maybe not so clumsy. There must be a better engine somewhere in the world that's better than the steam engine. Another kind of engine that could make things run.
Well, Henry, you may be right. And I'll tell you this.
Yes, Father?
I have a hunch that if there is a better kind of engine, you'll find it. And I'll bet you something else, Henry.
What's that, Father?
If there's something new and useful to be done with it, you'll do it.
From the Atlantic to the Pacific, from Mexico to Maine, from Pennsylvania to Nevada, from the mountains to the plain, from Massachusetts down to Texas, in every single state. Get into your car and meet the people that make America great. Hop in the car, buckle your belt, and I'll get behind the wheel. Side by side, we'll take a ride in a merry automobile. From New York City to Chicago to San Francisco Bay, from Pennsylvania up to Seattle and the towns along the way, from waving wheat fields down to Delta in every single state. Get into your car and meet the people that make America great. Hop in the car, buckle your belt, and I'll get behind the wheel. Side by side, we'll take a ride in a merry automobile.
Well, let's see now. Where was I? Oh, I was telling you about Henry Ford. Oh, yes, I remember. Well, now a couple of years passed. Henry got married to Clara Bryant, and they settled down on a farm just like Henry's father near the city of Detroit, Michigan. He got himself a steam engine of his own and used it to run a sawmill right there on his farm. But he never stopped thinking of making a machine that could make things run better, or one that could make things travel on the road.
See this magazine, Clara? It talks about a gasoline engine.
What's that, Henry?
Well, it's an engine like a steam engine, but instead of using hot water and steam, it uses gasoline. See, Clara? Here are the drawings of it in the magazine.
It doesn't look too different than the one you built, Henry.
You're right. So maybe I can build one like this. Maybe I'll try a small one first.
Henry had a workshop next to the farmhouse, and he set to work. Within a few months, he made one. It had one small cylinder and a piston, and it worked.
See, Clara, it runs.
What makes it go, Henry?
You light the gasoline, it explodes.
Oh, Henry, that's dangerous.
Not this little bit of it, Clara. Then when the gasoline explodes, it does the same thing the steam does. It makes the air expand, and that pushes the piston. And that makes the wheel go round.
But isn't that a lot of bother? Using a match to light the gasoline?
Yes, it is, Clara. There's another way. That's with electricity. That can make the gasoline explode, too.
Henry wanted to learn more about this new thing, electricity. There wasn't much he could learn about it on the farm, so he and Clara went to visit the city of Detroit.
Clara, look. The streetcars. They used to be pulled by horses.
I don't see anything pulling them, Henry.
That's just it. They're run by electric motors inside. Look at the streetlights.
They used to be gas lights.
And now they're electric lights.
They're in the stores, too. And look over there. There's a home that's got electric lights, too.
I tell you, Clara, this electricity is the coming thing. Now, if I could harness it to use in my engine, that'd be something.
Henry and Clara went back to the farm, and Henry couldn't get the idea of electricity out of his mind. One evening, as they were sitting in their parlor, Clara was playing the piano, and Henry was thinking.
You know a gasoline engine works. Now, if I can build a bigger one, I can work harder and do more. You can even run a carriage. A horseless carriage. Think of it. Clara, I have an idea. Do you have a piece of paper I can draw on?
Here, Henry. Here's some music paper. Use the back of it. Chopin won't mind. What are you drawing?
Clara, it's a horseless carriage.
A what?
A horseless carriage. I'm going to build one.
But where?
Out in the shed. Listen, Clara, I'm going to make another gasoline engine, bigger than the first one. I'm going to make it with 2 cylinders, not just one. And then I'm going to put it into a horseless carriage.
Well, soon Henry decided he could learn more about electricity in the city of Detroit than he could learn on the farm. So he and Clara moved there. Henry got a job as an engineer with the Edison Illuminating Company, and night times he worked on his engine in a little brick shed in back of their house.
Clara, are you there?
Of course I am, Henry. How else are you going to get your dinner?
Look, Clara, I made a gasoline engine.
Henry Ford, you take that thing out of my kitchen.
Wait, Clara. I have to see if it works.
Why in here?
Because there's electricity here in the house, and there's none out back in the shed. I need electricity to make a spark in the cylinders.
Oh, all right, Henry. Here's the place by the sink. Put it down here.
Okay. Now, Clara, I'll hold it, and you pour the gasoline in. 1 drop at a time. That's it. Careful now. Now, I've got this part of it plugged into the electricity, and it ought to... It works!
Oh, Henry, how wonderful! Now what?
My carriage, of course. My horseless carriage.
Well, Henry went to work on it. He began collecting bicycle wheels, tires, pieces of pipe, chains, a carriage seat, nuts, bolts, wires.
Henry, I've never seen so many odds and ends.
They're all for the horseless carriage, Clara.
Is that what you're going to call it?
Actually, I hadn't thought of a name for it. I know. I'll call it a quadricycle.
A what?
A quadricycle, like a bicycle. That has 2 wheels. Quadra means 4. And my carriage will have 4 wheels.
Henry kept working on his quadricycle. And a couple of months later, at 3 o'clock one morning...
Ready, Clara?
Yes, Henry. Oh, Henry, it really is a horseless carriage. You finished it.
I'm going to start the engine. Keep your fingers crossed.
Oh, Henry, quiet. You'll wake up the whole neighborhood.
Can't, Clara. Once it goes, it goes.
Hey! Cut out that noise! It's 3 o'clock in the morning!
Quiet down there! What's all the racket?
Clara, it's running. You think we should try it? See if it really goes someplace?
Now? It's so late. You wake everybody up.
I'm going to do it.
But, Henry, it's too big for the door. You can't get it out.
I'll fix that.
Henry, what are you doing?
Knocking out the door. There. Now there's room. Come on, Clara. Climb on.
But the neighbors.
Come on, Clara.
All right, Henry, wait for me.
Hang on. Here we go. It works. Here we go. It works. It works.
Henry started to drive his horseless carriage all over Detroit. It was the talk of the town. Wherever he went, crowds gathered to look at it and ask questions. If he left it alone for a minute, someone would try to drive it. So he had to carry a chain and fasten the carriage to a lamppost whenever he left it. Well, one day, downtown, a friend of Henry's, John Mayberry, came up to him.
Hi, John. Like my horseless carriage?
Oh, it's okay, Henry.
What's the matter?
Frankly, Henry, I think you're on the wrong track.
What do you mean?
Look, Henry, look around you. Here in Detroit. Everywhere you look, there's electricity. That's the thing these days, not gasoline.
I know, but it's just
You
not...
ought to ask Thomas Edison. He's a great inventor.
I know that, but he's in New York. Besides, what's he got to do with my quadricycle?
Edison has invented a thing called a storage battery. It produces an electric current. He's already run a train with it, and now he's putting small ones in carriages like yours.
He is? I'd like to meet Thomas Edison. But here I am in Detroit, and he's in New York.
Henry, your boss was looking for you. He came over to the house.
He did? What did he want?
He wants you to represent the factory at a big meeting
A meeting? Where is it?
in New York. It's all about new developments in electricity. Oh, and there's something else he mentioned.
What is it?
There'll be a man at the convention he wants you to talk to.
What's his name?
Edison. Thomas Edison.
Henry went to New York, and sure enough, Thomas Edison was there. He was a famous man by now, and there were so many people trying to talk to him that Henry couldn't get near him. Well, next morning, Henry decided to take a walk before breakfast. As he walked, he saw another early morning walker. They passed on the street.
Morning.
Morning.
Nice day.
Sure is. Say, aren't you attending the meeting on electricity?
Why, yes. My name is Henry Ford.
Pleased to meet you, young man. I'm Thomas Edison.
Well, the two men walked and talked, and they found they had a lot in common. Henry told Edison about his gasoline engine.
Yes, Mr. Ford, I've heard about it.
But what about this storage battery of yours?
Well, I'll tell you. It does work, but it's not practical. Not yet, anyway. The batteries are too big and heavy for a carriage like yours. Besides, there aren't enough men in the country who know enough about the batteries to keep them charged. No, Mr. Ford, I think you're on the right track with your gasoline engine. A car has to be light, and it has to be simple enough to operate that anyone can learn to run it.
What should I do, Mr. Edison?
Go on with your experiments, young man. And above all, don't be discouraged. I can't tell you how many times I tried and how many times I failed before that electric light of mine finally worked. You keep at it, my boy. You keep at it.
Henry Ford kept at it. He had ideas on how to improve his machine and mentioned them one day to John Mayberry.
I'm going to make another quadricycle, John. Better than the first one.
How long will it take, Henry?
Well, that's the trouble. I don't know. Tell you the truth, John, a lot of time and hard work went into the first one. I made many parts by hand, and even at that, used up a lot of my savings.
Well, what's the answer, Henry?
Money, John. If I had more money, I could hire good machinists. There are lots of them here in Detroit, and once I showed them what I wanted, they could work on their own from there, and I could hire a carriage maker to make the body for it. But as I said, it takes money.
Look, Henry, I believe in your horseless carriage, and I have money. Not a lot, mind you, but I've got some.
You mean you'll back me?
Yes, and I'll talk to some of the other businessmen in town. If your carriage works, Henry, who knows? We may put Detroit on the map.
Mayberry and his friends formed a new company, and Henry went to work for it.
John, what are we calling the new company?
Well, Henry, I'm thinking of calling it the Detroit Automobile Company. How's that sound?
Automobile?
Yes, sir. Auto means self. Mobile means, well, it means moving. Self-moving. You see?
The Detroit Automobile Company started in business, and as the idea caught on, other companies sprang up to make automobiles too. After a while, Henry's company failed, and he was out of a job.
Claire, what will we do? Maybe we ought to go back to the farm.
Don't you give up, Henry. You want to build automobiles, and that's what you should do.
But who will back me now? These other companies are successful. They're making the automobiles. Who'll back me now?
Henry, what you have to do is build an automobile that's better and faster than anyone else's. Well, then people will beg to help you.
Clara, that's it. You're great. I'll build a racing car.
A racing car? Well, but that isn't what I meant.
No, Clara, listen. Everyone is talking about Alexander Whitten and his racing car. They call it the Bullet. If I could build a car that would beat the Bullet, I'd be front page news. And maybe people would want to help.
Henry designed a new car, a racing car. He drove it himself in a race against the Bullet, and he won. Then he was front page news. People called him the best automobile designer in the country.
Good going, Ford. I'll back you.
Me too, Ford. You can count me in.
So Henry was able to start another company, all his own. It was called the Henry Ford Company. Later, his company was called the Ford Motor Company. Well, Henry kept building cars. Year after year, he kept on improving them. And he had another idea.
Clara, one of these days, everybody will drive a car.
That's a nice idea, Henry. But they are expensive, you know. People have to be pretty well off to own one.
But what if they were cheaper, Clara?
Well, how would you do that, Henry?
If I could make one for less money, I could pass the savings on to the people, so they could afford one too.
That's fine, Henry, but how are you going to do that?
Don't know, Clara. Just don't know. Yet.
Well, Henry Ford kept building cars, and they were cars that people liked. He came out with one, he called it the Model T, that was so popular that Henry had to build a whole new plant just to fill the orders for them. But he couldn't build them fast enough to keep up with the demand.
There must be a way, Clara.
Well, let's figure it out, Henry. What's the slowest part of making them now?
Well, let me think. The men are really good. First one team makes the chassis, then another team comes up to it and adds the body. Then another team comes up and adds the wheels. And that's how it goes. I guess, Clara, that's the slowest part. The time it takes when one team finishes its part and the next team takes over for the next part. Now, instead of bringing the men to the car, if I could bring the car to the men, maybe that's the answer.
Henry Ford built an assembly line. He had great big conveyor belts that carried the automobiles along from one group of men to the next. One group would add something like the wheels, then the next group would add the next thing like the body, and the next group would put on the doors and so on, all the way down the assembly line until the finished car rolled off it at the end. Well, Henry Ford revolutionized the automobile business. He made lots of cars, made tractors, made trucks, made cars all his life. It got so that cars became part of the American way. And so they are today. Cars carry us where we have to go. Trucks bring us food from the farms. Buses take us places too, and a lot of it is because a farm boy had ideas and lots of curiosity. Okay, keep your shirt on, I'm moving. Boy, sure are lots of cars out on the road today. That Henry Ford.
From the Atlantic to the Pacific, from Mexico to Maine, from Pennsylvania to Nevada, from the mountains to the plain. From Massachusetts down to Texas, in every single state. Get into your car and meet the people that make America great. Hop in the car, buckle your belt, and I'll get behind the wheel. Side by side, we'll take a ride in a merry automobile. From New York City to Chicago to San Francisco Bay, from Pennsylvania up to Seattle and the towns along the way, from waving wheat fields down to Delta in every single state. Get into your car and meet the people that make America great. Hop in the car, buckle your belt, and I'll get behind the wheel. Side by side, we'll take a ride in a merry automobile. From Mississippi to the Rockies and down to Mobile Bay, from rolling rivers to the desert, from Boston to L.A. Come take the highways, take to the byways in every single state. Get into your car and meet the people that make America great. Hop in the car, buckle your belt, and I'll get behind the wheel. Side by side, we'll take a ride